Hello, 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 friends. All right, I think I'm live here. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Hey, everyone, welcome, welcome. I'm gonna give y'all all a minute to hop on here. This training, I've been so excited about it. We are going to learn today how to sell without feeling salesy. So if you are here for that, if you're so pumped, you're so excited to learn how to sell without feeling salesy, then please give me a 1 in the comments and just say like, yes, I'm so pumped, I'm so excited, let's learn this. So this training, you guys, it came out of oh good, I see a whole bunch of you guys popping on here. Everybody say hi when you come. I would love for you guys to give me a ton of interaction today. I'm going to be looking a little bit to the side here for my notes and for comments and different things like that, but I would love for you guys to just interact as much as possible, ask as many questions as you can. We only have 30 minutes. I'm only allowed to do 30 minutes, so I'm going to pack in as much as I possibly can in 30 minutes. And then maybe we'll do some other trainings after this. Maybe next week we'll do something more if this wasn't enough time. Okay, so I have tons of notes here. I'm gonna go ahead and just get started. And like I said, just say hey if you're here. If you're watching the replay, give me a hashtag replay and I'll come back and say thank you. Hey everyone, hey Jen, hey Mary, hey Gloria, hey Stacy, hey Dana. Oh, I'm so excited about this training, y'all. Okay. So here's how this training came about. So I have noticed, have you guys noticed this? Tell me if you've noticed this in the comments. Have you noticed that there is a trend in the online space of women constantly apologizing for showing up in the online space, especially newer entrepreneurs, okay? And what this looks like is you're gonna see somebody say something like, oh, but don't worry, I'm not selling anything. Or like come to my group, but don't worry, I'm not selling anything. Or what was the one I saw the other day that was sign up for my wait list, but no pressure. Just know that there's absolutely no pressure, right? And it's from a place of a very apologetic stance, right? And so do you guys see that? Do you guys notice women doing that all the time, of kind of apologizing for showing up and being in the space, right? And so I saw that the other day and I was just done with it. I was just no, stop apologizing. Stop apologizing for showing up in your own space, right? Your online space is your own space. I'm gonna talk about that in just a minute. But stop apologizing for showing up, being who you are, and offering something amazing. If you offer something amazing, I want you to put it in the comments, okay? If you have a amazing product or amazing service or an amazing business, whatever it is, I want you to put what that is in the comments and say my business is amazing, okay? Because I know every single one of you has something amazing that you are offering to the world, okay? And that's gonna be, I'm trying to not get ahead of myself here, but I'm super passionate about this because I see women doing it all the time. And do you know what happens when you do that? You negate the power of the thing that you are selling, right? So if I got in here and I was Dana, I have an amazing marketing group. I love it. So if I came in here, you guys, and I was hey, let's talk about how to not be salesy, but if you don't want to listen, that's totally fine. Go ahead and just hop off. Or if you don't want, oh, by the way, you guys, speaking of that, don't worry about taking notes on this. I'm offering you guys show notes at the end of this. So speaking of the thing I'm selling, it's just a freebie, but if you want to get the notes from this at the end, then send me a message and I will send you the notes from this. Okay. So I want you to sit back, relax. Yes, I love this. Samantha, my business is amazing. Amy, my business is amazing. Tina, Tammy, Mary, Lady Joan, Keisha, Karen, my business is amazing. Yes, I love it. I love it. And it's so true. It's so, so true. You guys have amazing gifts to offer to the world. Okay. And so imagine if I were to come in here and I'm hey, I'm going to teach you how to sell without feeling salesy. And I was but only if you want to, just let me know. Even though you signed up for this training, you knew what it was going to be about, you showed up in your own regard. I didn't force you to be here. You showed up, right? And then how could you possibly believe me if I were to show up and be but like, like only like, are you guys okay? Like, is it okay with you if I like do this, And just like, did you guys even see what my body did then, right? Like I went from the stance of like, yes, let's do this, to a stance of like contraction, right? This is expansion, this is contraction, okay? And so when you are saying things like, oh, you like, no problem, like, I'm not going to pressure you, or like, I'm not going to be selling anything, or like whatever, you go into a space of contraction, and you're not allowing the energy to flow through you that needs to happen in order for you to make a sale. Okay, I'm getting way ahead of myself, you guys. Again, I'm super passionate about this. So I'm going to try to stay on script here. I was talking to one of my coaches before this, and he was like, stay on script. And I was like, we'll see. We're going to let the spirit guide us, right? So that's another thing. Do what feels good. But okay, so for those of you that don't know me, my name is Krista. I am the life coach for business coaches, and you'll understand why I am a life coach as we go through this, and why I think that every business owner needs a life coach, not just a business coach. But I do have a lot of experience in business, and I also have experience in sales. I was a top sales performer for AT&T. That was my very first job out of college, and I did not take it because I wanted to be a salesperson. I took it because I couldn't get another job. And it paid $15 an hour, like base pay. And then I got commission on top of that. And then I had like, all the other wonderful things they tell you that are important, right? Like healthcare and 401k and all that kind of stuff. So awesome. I sell products that are amazing, classic fashion handbags. So cool. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people on here interested in that. So I was super good at sales, you guys. I was really good. I sold easily. I always hit my targets, and I made a lot of money. Okay. Did you guys, before you were an entrepreneur, who made a lot of money in their previous life? Like, were you making a lot of money in corporate, and you chose to give it up so that you could follow your dream and follow your vision? If you did, I want you to put that in the comments. Okay. But like many of you, I hated it. I hated what I was doing. And here's the reason why. I knew the value of a lot of the things that I was selling, right? I knew the value of the phones that I was selling and some of the products that I was selling, but there was so much pressure to sell all of these other things on top of the things that I knew that were super valuable. And that went against my personal values, right? And then the other thing was, Jen says, I'm a teacher, so I'm used to being poor. Well, Jen, we're going to change that. No more being poor, okay? Nobody on here, we're claiming it. No one on here is going to be poor anymore, okay? So the other piece is, not only was it like going against some of my values, but I realized that my potential was capped, right? And I'm sure a lot of you felt that way too, right? You realize like you hit a certain point and you're like, I can't make more money than this. This is it. Like I'm at the top of my game here. I could only earn so much, right? They were only going to give me so many raises. I could only sell so much, that kind of thing, right? So many of us become entrepreneurs because we want freedom, right? Who wants freedom? I want you to type freedom in the comments if you want freedom, okay? We want freedom, and we see the potential. So if you see the potential of being an entrepreneur, I want you to put that in the comments. I want you to put potential in the comments, because that is why so many of us become entrepreneurs, is because hey, Amber, there's one of my coaches, you guys. And so many of us become entrepreneurs because we see the potential. We see it all around us. We see it every day online, right? You see these women making numbers that you just can't even imagine. I saw somebody post today, you guys, that their client went from $700,000 per month to a $495,000 day. I didn't know that was possible. Did you know that was even possible? I didn't even know a $495,000 day was possible. But we see it, right? We see it around us all the time, and we see this like potential, and we're like, oh my gosh, like, and at first it becomes this idea of like, whoa, like, well, if she can do that, like I could do that, right? That's what I thought. I was like, if she can do it, I could totally do that, right? Did you guys think that when you became entrepreneurs? Like, if she could do it, I could do it too. So then we do it. So then we show up and we're like, hey, like, what's up, right? Here I am. But the difference is, when you are in corporate, or you're in a job that is not your own business, you are selling a product that is not you, right? It's not all dependent on you, right? So I had, like, when I worked at AT&T, I didn't have to do anything except for sit there and wait for customers to walk in the door. And then that used to be the 10 years of job income. Yeah, exactly, right? 10 years to make that. And that person just made it in one day. Like, isn't that exciting? Doesn't that sound so exciting, the possibility? So all I had to do was sit there and just wait. I just had to wait for people to come in, and then I would sell to them, right? But they were already interested. They already wanted the product. Like, they already knew they wanted a phone. They just needed me to help them find the right one. And then I was upselling them on some cool things to go with their phones, like cases and different things like that were really helpful to them. But I didn't have to do all the marketing. I didn't have to do all it, like finding customers, lead generation, all these things that we have to do as entrepreneurs. And it's really hard because what happens is then we get caught up in this idea of like, oh, well, like Susie Q is making $495,000 a day. Like, I should do what she's doing, right? And then we buy Susie Q's product, whatever it is, her course or whatever it is she's selling that is helping her make $495,000 a day. And we're like, okay, I'm going to follow Susie Q's process. And then we are not making $495,000 a day. And suddenly we make that mean something about us, right? So it's like, well, I see the potential, I see someone else doing it, and I have the exact strategy of what that person is doing, and it's not working for me. So it's obviously not the product, it's obviously not the strategy, it's obviously not the people. There's only one thing left. It must be me. Right? So the question I want to ask you today before we get into the 5 shifts is I want to ask you, what are you making it mean about yourself when you are struggling with sales, or when you are learning marketing but you're not quite there yet, or when you don't hit your sales goal for the month? Okay? What are you making it mean about you? So I want you guys to think about that. I'm going to put that in the notes too as a journaling prompt for you to really think about that, okay? Because this is where I see so many entrepreneurs going wrong, is that suddenly when the process isn't working exactly right, then it becomes something about my worth, right? I make it mean something about me, okay? So let's get right into the 5 shifts. Just based on that, let's go right into the 5 shifts that you need to make to start selling without feeling salesy, okay? And the first shift that you need to make is to remember every single day without fail, okay? I don't care if you're feeling amazing that day, okay? This is a thing that you have to do every single day. The shift is you were given your vision for a reason. Do you believe that? I want you to put that in the comments. I was given my vision for a reason, okay? Or you can just put vision if you don't want to type the whole thing out. I was given my vision for a reason. Do you believe that? If you don't believe that, then I want you to book a 15-minute call with me and we're going to talk about it, okay? Because if you are not doing something that you believe completely in, wholeheartedly, 100%, you know that that is the thing that people need and that's going to change people's lives, whether that is a product, whether that is you, whether that's a service, whatever it is. Yes, I love it. I was given my vision for a reason. So awesome. But if you don't believe in that wholeheartedly, then you are always, always, always going to feel salesy. I promise you, you will never stop feeling salesy if you cannot believe in it that much. And here's what's going to happen. There's so many voices talking to us all the time, right? So that's another little tip for you guys is stop consuming so much. I know that feels counterintuitive because you're like, I need to know more. I need to learn more. Stop consuming so much. Stop reading so many comments. Stop reading so many posts, okay? Because what you're seeing is you're seeing all these other voices saying like, oh, like, I can't believe she's selling again, or, oh, I hate MLMs, or, oh, selling in the this is the one that's going around really big right now, you guys. Selling in the DMs is the worst strategy ever. Nobody should ever be selling in the DMs, right? And if that's the strategy that you're using, then suddenly those voices become the most important voices to you, and you lose the actual most important voice, which is your voice. And your voice your intuition has given you this vision, right? You were given this vision for a reason, and it was given to you for a reason, right? It wasn't given to me. It wasn't given to my brother. It wasn't given to your brother. It wasn't given to your mom. It was given to you. And it was given to you for a reason because you are the person that is supposed to bring that vision to life. You're the perfect person. There's no one else. There's no one else that can bring your vision to life in the way that you can, okay? And so your first shift is to connect with that every single day. You were given your vision for a reason. Stop listening to the people who are triggered by your vision, okay? All of those people that are telling you that you're being too salesy, or that they hate MLMs, or they hate the DMs, or they hate whatever, they have their own stuff they need to work out, okay? They're being triggered by things in their past, and it doesn't have anything to do with you, okay? So connecting every single day with your vision and the fact that you were given your vision for a reason. Can you guys do that? Can you do that first shift? Connect every day that you were given this vision for a reason. Okay, and the second one, we've already kind of talked about this a little bit, is to find your self-worth in something besides your business. Okay, one of the best things that we get to do as entrepreneurs is our job does not have to be our identity. And that's kind of the old paradigm anyways, you guys, right? That's like bro marketing, like the patriarchal paradigm that like whenever you meet somebody for the first time and you say like, hey, what do you do? What you're really saying is, hey, who are you? And then whatever they say, their job is who they are, right? We get to forget all of that. Okay, we get to live outside of that paradigm that our business is not equivalent to our self-worth. So there's a lot of people going around right now saying that you need to charge your worth, right? That's kind of the biggest thing right now is like, make sure you're charging your worth. And it's a lot of coaches who want you to charge high ticket, which I totally believe in high ticket. And I think you should charge high ticket, but I don't think that you should equate your self-worth to what you're charging. Okay. Especially because your worth does not go up if you decide to change your prices. Okay, I increased my prices significantly in March, and it wasn't because my worth suddenly changed and I was suddenly worth more, right? My worthiness is inherent, and so is yours. Your worthiness has nothing to do with how much you are charging. And so I want you to remember that too, that every time, because here's what happens. Every time you ask for a sale, then somebody says no. Basically, instead of asking for the sale, what you are asking is, am I worth it? Am I worthy? And they're saying no. And so every time, the reason why you feel salesy, the reason why you think sales sucks is because every time you go into a sales call, every time you try to make a sale, you ask for the sale, you're tying it to your self-worth, and you're saying to yourself that if I don't make this sale, then this person is telling me that I'm not worthy. And then you take that back into your business and you say, oh my gosh, like I didn't sell to that person. Should I change my prices? Should I sell a different product? Do I need more knowledge? Do I need another certification? Do I need to find a different product, right? And then you start questioning everything, going back to shift number one, right? You start questioning the vision. And then you start chasing every next shiny object, and then you never make traction in your business because your self-worth is tied to how much you're charging. And if somebody doesn't buy it, then you're telling yourself that you are not worthy. Does that make sense? If that makes sense, you guys put yes in the comments, okay? So that's shift number two. So shift number one is you were given your vision for a reason. Shift number two is find your self-worth in something besides your vision. And I should add to that, your worthiness is inherent. It doesn't have anything to do with how much you sell, okay? And the third one is, this is the big one, you guys, okay? Healing your relationship with money will eliminate the feeling of being salesy. Okay, so do you guys know what I mean when I say your relationship with money? This was something that was brand new to me about a year ago, that I never thought of money as a relationship, right? But if you can understand what your stories are around money, what you're telling yourself all of the time around money, then you are going to approach every situation totally differently than you are right now. Okay, this is gonna shift your energy from being in like a desperate getting energy to being in an allowing energy. It's going to allow money to flow instead of you feeling like you have to create and get and find money. Okay, so the first part of this is understanding that money is an energetic exchange. Okay, so a lot of times we have this feeling, and this is because this is what we've been taught, right? We have been taught our entire lives scarcity around money, right? This idea that there's never enough. And this is something I hear my clients say all the time, right? Money is hard to come by. Is that a belief that you have? Money is hard to come by. There's never enough money. There's never an overflow of money, right? And these are things that we're constantly telling ourselves. So think about if you have the belief money is hard to come by, and then you go into asking for a sale, right? So you go into a sales call, but your belief is money is hard to come by. How hard is it going to be for you to make that sale if you believe and you're literally resisting money coming to you, right? So if you can understand that money doesn't come from people, which is what we're taught, and we often come to a conversation or a sales call with the idea that we are taking something from them, right? So if they give us money, so if I'm selling something and then you give me money for it, you are now poorer, like you have less than whenever we first started. But the shift I want you to make is I want you to realize that whenever that person gives you money, it's an energetic exchange, okay? So first of all, there's lots of laws of the universe that we can talk about, and the law of compensation, right? That money is going to come back to them, right? That's the law of the universe. But we feel like that they are going to be poorer because they gave us money. In reality, they are going to have more than what they just gave us. And so if you can approach your sales like that, where you feel like, man, the thing that I am giving them is so much more valuable than the money that they are giving me right now, you're never going to feel salesy again. You're just going to eliminate the feeling of being salesy. Okay, I'm going to give you guys an example from AT&T with this. Okay, so I used to sell iPhones, and I sold OtterBoxes with iPhones. And the way the iPhone used to be created, like if you dropped it, it shattered your screen and you had to buy a new phone. Okay, and you could get the screen replaced and like whatever, but it was going to be at least $125 minimum of like a screen replacement, or if you had insurance or whatever, $125 to replace that phone. Well, the OtterBox was $50. So it was so easy for me to sell people that OtterBox because it was like, pay me $50 now. This phone will never break in this OtterBox, and I'm saving you from $125 and all the stress and pain and blah, 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 right? So that's like kind of a silly example, but you get the point of like, it was so easy for me to sell OtterBoxes, and I never felt salesy selling an OtterBox because I knew like I was helping them so much with this thing, okay? So that's how I want you to feel about the interactions that you're having with people. And whenever you are, whenever money is coming to you through people, that's the other thing I want you to think about is money doesn't come from people. Money flows through people to you, okay? So all that's happening is an energetic exchange that's going to make your life better and their life better. Okay, trying to stay on track here. We have about 7 minutes left. If you guys are having questions throughout this, go ahead and pop them in the comments, and I am going to try to answer some at the end, and if not, I'll come back and answer them in the comments. Also, just a reminder, I am going to give you guys the notes after this. So if you want the notes, send me a message once we're done and I will send you the notes from this, okay? So the first one is you were given your vision for a reason. The second shift is find your self-worth in something besides your business. The third shift is healing your relationship with money will eliminate the feeling of being salesy. The fourth one is create new stories that you believe about your business and your success, okay? This one is so, so powerful, you guys. We touched on it in number 3. So the idea is that you can, whatever stories you're telling yourself right now, you can shift those stories. So if you, one of my stories used to be, kind of like what we were talking about. Like, it's hard for my clients to pay me. My clients don't actually have enough money to pay me. I'm charging too much. Those kind of stories, right? I shifted my story, and it would always come around the time that things were due, right? Things like their payment plans, or if I were sending out an invoice and I was waiting for the invoice to come in. I always had this playing in my mind of like, oh my gosh, like they're gonna call me and cancel, or they're gonna call me and yeah, Delonda, you can watch the replay for sure. And they're going to call me and cancel, or they're going to call me and tell me they can't pay me this month, or they're going to call me and tell me, whatever. They're going to call me and complain about my coaching, whatever it was, right? I had all these stories running through my head. And so I decided to figure out what those stories were, first of all, and then to shift those stories. And so one of my new stories is money loves to support me, and my clients love to pay me. Okay, so imagine if you went into every interaction with that story, instead of the story of like, oh, like I don't know if I'm going to get this sale, and oh, this person's going to think that I'm salesy and things like that. What if you went into it with the story of money loves to support me and my clients love to pay me? How would that feel to you guys? How would it feel to shift into that story? Tell me in the comments what you think. Yeah, money loves to support me and my clients love to pay me. And then the other one I have for you guys is I have something exceptionally valuable. And we kind of talked about that at the beginning, but this idea of not like I'm taking from them, but the idea of I have something exceptionally valuable and everyone wants this thing. There are thousands of people waiting for this thing. Everyone wants this thing, okay? So stop apologizing for selling and start shifting your stories, because your clients are also going to feel that energy shift for you as well, okay? They're going to feel the difference, just like I showed you in the beginning, right? Whereas like if you come at your clients with expansive energy versus contracted energy, those clients are going to respond to you in a completely different way, okay? Okay, and then my final shift for you guys, shift number 5, is the only way to be successful in sales is to sell based on your values, okay? Do you know what your values are? Have you ever done values work? Put it in the comments if you know what your personal values are and what the values are of your business. If you haven't, send me a message and we can talk about this. I can send you some resources on it, okay? Because if you are trying to sell in a way that doesn't feel good to you, then you are never going to be successful, and you are always going to feel salesy, always, okay? So let me give you a quick example of this. Hey, Kara. So let me give you a quick example of this, okay? So I signed up when I was a new coach a couple of years ago. I signed up for a very expensive. I should probably eliminate expensive from my vocabulary too. If you guys don't know the book Conscious Language, check that book out as well. It's really helpful with a lot of the stuff we're talking about today. Okay, so I invested in a high ticket item. And during the sales call, it was a very high pressure sales call. And I felt like that I had to invest. And so I did. And then I went into that program, and they taught us how to sell in that program, which was amazing, except for the fact that they taught us how to sell in the way that I was sold to, which felt horrible to me. I hated the way that I was sold to. I don't know why I signed up. It was probably not a great moment for me, but it's totally fine. We learned something from everything, right? And so then when I got to the piece of learning how to sell from them, I was like, this doesn't feel good to me. I'm not going to sell like this because I didn't like it myself. Nobody else is going to like it, right? So this is the main thing here, is learning how to listen to your intuition, okay? And when I say listen to your intuition, I don't mean listen to your fears and insecurities, okay? If the reason why you don't want to sell is because you're scared and because you're insecure and because you have limiting beliefs, that is different than listening to your intuition, okay? If you want to overcome those fears and insecurities and limiting beliefs, send me a message. We'll do a 15-minute call and we'll talk through it. Okay, but if your intuition is saying like, this is not right for me, then find another way to sell. There are a million ways to be successful in business, a million, you guys. And you already have it inside of you. You already know how to be successful. You just have to start trusting that. You have to start trusting it over everything else, okay? And that is the main thing. That is the biggest thing in your marketing, in your sales, in your product creation. Everything that you're doing is trusting yourself is the most important thing, okay? So learning how to listen to your intuition is the key, and being your authentic self will help you get more sales than the other way, than anybody else's other way, okay? Okay, you guys, tell me what questions you have. What's my Instagram? Krista Lauren. I'll type it in here for you guys so you guys can see. You can also follow me on Facebook. I'm a little bit more active on Facebook than I am on Instagram, although I'm changing that. So listen to your heart, the theme of my magazine summer issue. Ooh, cool. Okay, we'll have to check that out, Tracy. I'm literally in the middle of writing a guide on this. Amazing, Dana. I can't wait to see it. Okay, you guys, I'm going to hop off of here. But one of the things I wanted to share with you too is like, if you guys enjoyed this, go back and rewatch it and watch the way that I sell, and then watch other people and the way that they sell. Okay. I open the door for every door-to-door salesman because I want to hear the way that they sell. I'm like watching people all the time and learning how people sell and how I feel when they're selling to me, what they're saying, that kind of thing. So that I can always be adding to my toolbox of marketing and selling. But then also like understanding like what being on the other side of being sold to, what does it feel like and what feels good to you and what is going to make you feel successful. Does that make sense? So I want to encourage you to always be, get on every sales call that you possibly can, even if you don't end up buying, right? Because you're learning all the time as you're watching other people do this, and you're learning what's best for you. Okay. So if you guys found this super helpful, if you want to talk more about diving deep into this, I would love to offer you a free 15-minute call with me, and we can solve whatever your biggest problem is in that 15 minutes around sales. Christina, I see you asking, why can some people sell high ticket and others can't sell over 99? Christina, my answer to you is limiting beliefs, 100%, okay? It's as easy to sell something that's $1 as it is to sell something that's $10,000. It takes the same amount of energy, okay? And so the energy is the same thing. Like, this is my husband, he used to be a personal trainer, and he would always tell me when I was running that if I would just like make my stride longer, I could go further with the same amount of energy. Okay. And I was always like, no, I have to run these little short steps or whatever, because I don't have enough energy to run the longer steps. It's the same concept, right? We feel like, oh my gosh, it's a limiting belief. It's a block that we have that we can't sell over a certain amount. You have a set minimum, a limit in your head that's telling you, I can't sell more than this. And it's probably based on something you've done in the past, right? Maybe you've sold $99 before, but you've never sold $10,000 before. So you don't believe that it's possible. Okay. So this, going back to what I said at the beginning, you guys, this is why I do life coaching for business coaches, because life coaching is the thing that moves the needle in your business more than anything else. Okay. Understanding what those blocks are and understanding what your limiting beliefs are is huge. Okay. So that's why I've branded myself as the life coach for business coaches. Okay. So Christina, why don't you message me and let's do a 15-minute session and let's talk through it. Okay. I want to hear what you are saying when you pitch, and I can help you with that. Okay. So message me. We'll do a 15-minute session. Sandy, I will definitely get you the notes on this. Lady Joan and Delonda, yes, I will send you guys the link for the 15-minute sessions, okay? I can't wait to talk to y'all. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments, or you guys, my inbox is open. So please feel free to message me questions there as well. And thank you so much for joining me. I just so appreciate this. This was so amazing. And I hope that it was super helpful for y'all. It was so amazing for me. So I will see you guys next time. And yeah, see you soon. Bye, y'all.